What up? Welcome in. We are trying a little something new here for our tip-off. We got the Utah Jazz, Minnesota Timberwolves going at it in Minnesota. Our starting lineups: Darius Dixon. We'll talk through. Man, we're experimenting here. Want to deliver something that's a little bit engaging, provide a little bit more info on what's going on, and not just the start and stop of the broadcast announcers. The big matchup: Abaeze Ojeleye is a seed right there, taking on Julius Walker. The Utah Jazz have been phenomenal since the return of Walker. All NBA last season. Not a guy that honestly probably deserved All NBA, but with so many injuries to guys like Xavier Carter, Robert Mack missed a lot of time. Abaeze Ojeleye himself had some injuries that sidelined him as we get the first drive of the game here underway. And Walker immediately with the impact. But he's a guy really talented. But he's 30 years old, just made his first All-NBA squad. So he's still coming into his own in terms of like the league overall feel of him, but he's definitely a positive impact here as Jacob Cuxick gets the layup and the harm. But they're just a better basketball team when they've got Julius Walker, as Dixon, the man of the hour, pulls up for a quick two. Especially, I think, if you look at this team as Gabriel Ruffin buries one, the Jazz, they need Julius Walker because the league just truthfully is not that deep at the center position. I think that's kind of been explained ad nauseum. So to have a guy like Walker who can really get it done inside on both ends of the floor is the huge benefit for Utah. You don't need him to score 25, 30 points a game like Abaeze Ojeleye is capable of, as we get the triple there from Lucas Alvarez. But you do need him to try to just get going as Adrian Diaz gets the two to go. Early lead here for the Utah Jazz. Of course, we're only showing the makes early on in this game. Try to speed things up for you. Sterling Weems was on the last dish there as Gabriel Ruffin hits another jumper. Sterling Weems, number 9 there, you'll see on the floor. He is the former number 3 overall pick by Philadelphia, 5'9", pretty diminutive. That was actually a pick by the 76ers, that was traded in the Ben Simmons deal that sent Ben Simmons to Golden State. Of course, Golden State ends up winning a championship with him. Here's Abaeze Ojeleye going to town inside. I mean, come on. Going up against Spiro Gianu. As here comes Jacob Cuxick to the rack. He gets that to roll. Utah on top here midway through the second, but a really talented group right now for Utah if they can keep this group healthy. Of course, they made it all the way to the Western Conference semis, fell down 3-1 to Golden State before rallying all the way back, as Ojeleye hits the fader to force Game 7. They shouldn't have been a 5 seed, honestly, last season. They get the Lakers in the opening round, but they were really only a 5 seed Utah because of that man, Darius Dixon. He was injured, right? He suffers a sprained ankle, misses the last 6 weeks of the season. He was probably the MVP. Jacoby Cleaves ends up getting it. Another bucket there. Jacoby Cleaves gets it, but let's be honest, Darius Dixon was the MVP a season ago if he stays healthy. That team was top 3 seed potentially. They just got the buzzsaw of Golden State. Here's a step back. Gabriel Ruffin, hello. Nice pick that they had a couple seasons ago. Top 5, I think he went in that Shamar Poole. Inside there's Darius Dixon again. That was the year I think they got Shamar Poole, Gabriel Ruffin both in the top 5. Neither of them have really popped as Darius Dixon gets another one to go. That's kind of what this team needs, Utah. They need another star. Sterling, 5'9" man rising up. Okay. They need another star, Minnesota. Abaeze Ojeleye is phenomenal. What is he, 3rd or 4th year right now in the NBA? But they just need somebody else to give them something. As down 8, late first half. Pull up Darian Hairston. Yes, sir. That was the big question mark for Minnesota last season. They drafted Marcus Workman, number 8 overall. Workman's kind of like a Draymond Green, RJ Wallace type guy. Here's Darius for the triple. Kind of a big question. Oh, hold on. Spiro Gianu. Looks like a shoulder injury potentially. That's not good. That is the one weakness for this Utah squad. They do not have a second forward next to Patrick Morris Sr., who you'll see right there, number 10. They need something. I mean, especially in the Western Conference, Leroy Fleming will check in. When you've got to go through Golden State, which is Kuminga and Dixon, you've got to go through Jacoby Cleaves, which is Malik Hightower now and Jacoby Cleaves for the Suns. And then Sacramento, you've got Jason Sanders going in there. He's trying to get back healthy as Dixon hits a three. You need another forward, and if you're Utah, as good as that man is, Jacob Cuxix, he's a fringe all-star point guard. I think they really need to try to find themselves another forward as Julius Walker gets the foul on Ruffin, gets that to go. 13-point game here. Minnesota on the verge. We thought this might be a little marquee action. Get rolling. That guy's got to get it going. Abaeze Ojeleye gets it to 11, but should be one of kind of like the fringe future teams. Questionable fadeaway, probably not necessary, but hey, pound the chest gets it to roll. Kind of like some couple future teams. I think Minnesota's just got a huge upside if they can find a way to add some pieces, like we've said, next to Abaeze Ojeleye. Here he is again going up against Diaz. He's tough to stop. It's just a matter of, do you trust a guy that operates primarily in the post, and he's one of the best to do it. He's going at Adrian Diaz again. My gosh. I mean, he's what gives them, as we get the slam cam action of it, he's what gives, if you're Minnesota, the thought of, hey, we could get rolling. And keep in mind this one, they have the Washington Wizards first-round pick this coming season, this coming draft. They took on the DeAndre Hunter deal a couple years ago when Washington was restocking. They went out for Cole Anthony. They got him in the signing trade, and they moved some pieces around to get Jalen Johnson as the triple. There goes from Lucas Alvarez, former New Orleans Pelicans. So they've got, and Washington's struggling this season as Weems buries a three, keeps this thing at 11, or excuse me, back to 9. Washington's been struggling. They've missed a lot of time with Devin Anderson. They've been missing a lot of time with Zane Bennett. So that pick actually really could be, depending on how they make it, if they can take a push here as a triple. We got ourselves a 2-point basketball game in the fourth. If they can push this thing to being, if Washington doesn't make the playoffs, it could be a really nice piece there for Minnesota, who just took the lead. Hey, hold on. 6.5 to go. 57-50. Oh, Darius. Yes, sir. Darius Dixon takes it right back next possession down. He's unstoppable, man. I mean, you want to talk future face of the league. I know Jacoby Cleaves is probably right there. There he is getting his own. I mean, that's 6 straight from Darius. If Utah, like we've talked about, it's always second star, man. Second star. I mean, hey, who's to say Darius and Deontay don't try to team up, 5, 6, 7 years from now as Jacob Cuxix? Now, that is a run, folks. 68-59 when they trailed 57-56, and Darius is just getting rolling. 29 on 11 of 20. Of course, sim stats, 8-minute quarters. Here's Abaeze. Oh, Julius Walker meeting him up top. That's what I'm talking about. That is the difference that Utah has with Julius Walker on this basketball team and healthy. If he's rolling as a nice kick, Cuxix corner three won't go. So we're under 3 to play now. If Julius Walker's healthy, he's not disrupting the game necessarily offensively. He's just impacting it on the other end. As we got a 9-point game, we're into the fourth, so that means we are going every possession. You saw that miss from Cuxix. Here's a pull-up from Walker. That won't go. Board from Shamar Poole. Of course, we'll still eliminate the dribble-ups, kind of save some of your time here. Appreciate you tuning in. Here's Shamar Poole inside, stolen. Look, Shamar Poole might have a high upside. I think he could be a really great starter as Patrick Morris. He has not hit a shot all night, by the way. If Shamar Poole can just become serviceable, I think this team's really good. But I just don't know if you see the upside of him or Gabriel Ruffin. They're without Malcolm Knight, by the way. Minnesota is. He was a lottery pick out of good old University of Vermont a couple seasons ago. He was in, actually, the Darius Dixon draft as Abaeze Ojeleye trying to go at Julius Walker, and he won't. And that's what I mean. Walker can impact the game so well on the opposite end, which is part of why when he was in Atlanta, right, drafted by the Hawks, he was the second piece as Adrian Diaz probably puts this thing away here with 1:20 to play. Julius Walker is the number 2 guy on those Kyrie Irving Hawks teams. He went to two NBA Finals with the Hawks and Kyrie Irving, and Adrian Diaz on the top of Darian Hairston, and then he went, of course, the following year they went to two Finals, won one. So Julius Walker trying to get another ring to his belt now in his 30s. Here's Darius Dixon go to work on Sterling Weems. There's just no stopping him, and that's gonna do it. 76-63. Of course, sim stats are rolling. Here's Abaeze Ojeleye trying to get one up. That's it. Cuck 6 ends up with 30 as we sim stats up to the end of the 12-minute quarters. 114-94. Cuck 6 cooks for 30. 46 from Darius Dixon. No stopping him. But you look at points in the paint. The Jazz, despite only 8 points from Julius Walker, they outscore Minnesota 48-27 in the paint because Abaeze Ojeleye gets rolling for 28, 12 of 17. He played well, but just could not. And some of those, that's kind of semantics, right? Fadeaways from outside of the paint. But that's it. Thanks for tuning in. We're back. Golden State plays host to San Antonio. Our next broadcast game. We'll catch you then.